Now, tonight's Behind the Biz, the menu is a combination of two cultures with everything from crab-coated wings to jumbo samosas. Yolanda Vazquez samples this specialty wing store.
Well, they've been in business for nearly a year, specializing in chicken wings and other items, but the food that you find here, you won't find anywhere else. And that's because a number of their sauces, chicken wings and other items, have a strong Korean Indian influence. Joining me now to talk a little bit more about Bondoori Wings is the owner, Dan Singh. Dan, it's a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you, Yolanda.
Thanks so much for coming, talking to us about this. Want to talk a little bit more about the business. It's interesting how it all got started because you were headed in a different direction.
Yeah, I was in a completely different direction. I was looking to get into the liquor business in the Baltimore County area. My family knew the previous owners here and suggested I take over. When I had that idea, I thought, okay, let's just roll with it and see what I can do with it. So I kind of designed the menu around stuff I generally like to eat. Kind of keep it as simple as possible around that area. So. And
you said you've had to do some changes and some tweaks along the way, right?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
So generally the previous establishment was a pretty much already established business. So I wanted to take a completely different direction. So we had to go through the renovation process, going through county and dealing with permits and stuff like that. So it was quite a big change in terms of what we needed to do to get to where we are today.
So you really won't find any chicken wings kind of like the ones you're making, right? Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about them?
Sure. So I employ a different kind of cooking method. I do a low temperature to high temperature fry. That generally makes the chicken a little bit crispier, a little bit juicy that way. Not many other places do that. My understanding is a lot of places do straight from raw to cook, or they par fry at a high temperature, or they batter the chicken. So there's a number of different methods you can employ to actually get what you're trying to get. But yeah, we do things a little bit different here than anywhere else.
And the chicken wings themselves, if you're used to the big fat Mondo ones, it's going to be a little different when you get them from Bondoori.
Yeah, so I don't use jumbo wings. Jumbo wings are generally the bigger ones. I use the medium size. They generally cook a little bit better, in my opinion at least. They come out a little bit crispier, a little bit juicier that way. That's why I prefer to have the smaller cuts than the bigger ones.
And the sauces, you've got quite a few.
Quite a few, yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about the wide variety.
We have around 13 sauces. I generally like to mix it up. I cover all my bases, but we do have a strong Indian and Korean influence. So we have some traditional tikka masala, spicy cream barbecue, soy garlic. So we have quite a few different sauces that pretty much accommodates everyone's flavor.
On Yelp, the biggest thing people talk about, in addition to the wings, has to do with the samosas and this chutney sauce.
Yeah, it's a traditional Indian appetizer, jumbo samosas. It's mashed potatoes spiced up with a little bit of peas inside of it and a nice little pastry. It's something savory and something I grew up eating, so I knew I wanted to do that for my menu.
So you're nearly a year into having the business, owning the business. What's it been like? Because you just told me now, revealed to me that you've been working like 7 days a week for 8 months.
For 8 months, yeah. Been running solo this whole time, which I love. Don't get me wrong, it's exhausting, but this is generally something I didn't anticipate myself. You know, thinking about having a restaurant, I was thinking I'm going to have Army employees and stuff like that. But for right now, I generally work alone. I kind of simplified the menu in a way where I can kind of handle it in that aspect. But yeah, so far I've been rolling hard for about 8 months alone. So. Yeah.
And what's it been like to build up customers? Because you have a very interesting philosophy behind that.
Yeah, in this area, Howard County, it's very, very full. So my approach was very hands-off in a way. I knew people were quite curious about what's going on here because we were closed for so long. So once people started coming in and trying the food, I just want to kind of let the food speak for itself and take it from there. And once we get a little bit more established, then we start growing and be a little bit more aggressive in terms of marketing and stuff like that.
Your future plans, because I know when you come in here, it is a bit bare, because it's pretty much a takeout place at this point, but you'd like to change some things up, but that takes a little bit of while for you to build up the capital in order to do that, right?
Exactly.
Something a lot of people may not realize about having a business.
Oh yeah, so the initial hurdles of opening up a business and going through the whole meat grinder per se is quite difficult, especially if you have nothing backing you up in terms of people in county and stuff like that. But to get to that point where I want to be, it's going to take a little bit more time, a little bit more capital, like as you said, to expand and grow a little bit, get more seating, more amenities, more just basic stuff that a lot of people kind of brush over and expect restaurants to have. But initially starting off can be a little bit difficult if you don't have the right footing off in the beginning. Yeah.
What advice would you give someone who might be thinking of doing
do your homework? Definitely do your homework. Research, ask, be very vocal with your county. Ask, if you have a question, please ask. That's the biggest thing you can do. They're not afraid to give you the information, but I wish they had it on hand, but if you ask, they'll be more than happy to provide it for you guys.
What's your favorite sauce for the
Trifecta sauce.
Trifecta sauce. All right, well, I'm about to try that, so we're going to work it out. Danny, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yolanda.
We appreciate it. And if you'd like to find out more information about Bondoori Wings, just log on to our website at mpt.org and click on Your Money in Business. All right, I'm supposed to have like a glove on and all that stuff, but this just means I'm going to have to take them all home. But this is the trifecta sauce, and I like the drums, not the flats. And this is it right here. All right, Jeff, I'm going to toss it back to you, not without taking a bite. In the studio, his sauces are fantastic. All right, back to you. I need a napkin. Delicious, delicious.
Very good, Yolanda. Thank you. That is our program for this week. Tune in every Thursday at this time for Your Money and Business. Remember, you can see full episodes of our local programs online at video.mpt.tv. For all of us at MPT, thanks for watching and have a good night.